Hey there guys, it's Doug from Geek Acres, and I was recently on the TGFN Hangout and they wanted to see my farm. So that's what this video is all about. Gonna take you for a quick walk around part of the farm. We've got a little over 100 acres here, so yeah, don't have time for all that, but we'll walk you around a little bit of the pasture area and up towards the barn. So let's have a look at it, shall we? So the cows are not ours, but we do usually have about 8 to 10 cows for the better part of the year. Our neighbor actually has a milking herd, and so he pastures some of the yearling cows on our farm before they join the herd. So this is the drive, the lane, bordered by flowering pear trees on either side. A little bit of the split rail fence there. I grew up in the suburb of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and so I am not by any stretch of the imagination a farm kid, but my wife is. In fact, we inherited the place from my father-in-law, and when he passed, the farm became ours. So we're pretty blessed about that whole deal. It's great to be out here in the country. There certainly is work to do, and actually we'll kind of get to that here in a minute. Whoever said life on the farm is kind of laid back, well, they fibbed. They fibbed. But here we are. Little gate to access the pasture area. Some more area for the cows. One of the cow barns. We'll see if we can show you what that looks like in there. Not sure how well the video is going to come out on this. I'm shooting it on my phone, but let's have a look-see. Is this going to be too dark? Probably. Got a feeding trough in here, some hay that they use for bedding. They're out there. Glare's probably too much to pick it up though, so we shall go on over here. Got a second barn. It's where the electric comes in for the electric fence that goes around the property. One of the things that I really like about living out here is the fact that we have a small creek, stream that runs through the property. Again, kind of shooting this a little bit later in the day, so I'm not sure how well the lighting is turning out. Kind of meanders its way down. We'll give you a better look when we get around the corner here. So yeah, neither my wife nor I are farmers, although like I say, she grew up on a farm. Just a little bit past that tree line up there at the top is that border. When we first moved out here, we had a little riding tractor. You can't push mow this, but kind of wore that thing out, so eventually we had to invest in a small Kubota tractor. Not a small one, you know, it's not a full-on, I don't know what your vision is of farm life if you don't live on a farm, but we've got a tractor that has a loader on it. We can move stone, or we can move dirt, you know, whatever we need to move around. Split rail fence back there amongst all this foliage. We're getting to the point where I spent part of my afternoon. Okay, this could get interesting. Sometimes when we get a lot of water, and we have had some this week, it tends to flow down through here, so I will try not to get too terribly wet. Walk through kind of on my heels, and we're through. Here's another gate where we can access the upper portion. There's a building that sits up there. And again, the farmer who works part of the farm for us and boards his cows will sometimes bring one of his vehicles through over here. Here's what we had to work on. You can tell some of the nice new split rail fence that's there. Yes, we were running the chainsaw. We had to shave down a few of these rails a little bit to make them fit. It's an interesting process. You gotta get them in there. And then they run all the way down along here and come into another. And then you kind of have to mate them up with the one that's over here. So you got this one, and you got this one, and they're both vying for the same amount of space in this little hole. So it's not an exact science, and I don't know that the way that we do it is the exact way that you're supposed to, but we manage. We manage. This particular fence, by the way, this section of split rail fence, buffers up against a little wooded area that's up behind our house. Some fairly tall trees back up in there. And eventually the cows will get up in here. The pasture is broken up into sections. So as the farmer keeps an eye on what sorts of progress the cows are making with regards to eating the grass, he'll open up different sections, and eventually they'll make their way up here. Oak tree. The wife and the kiddo have actually been working pretty well on this section of fence this summer. You can see right in here, there's all kinds of small brush and scrub growing up. And so we've been opening up sections of this fence. She is a teacher. He is also on summer vacation, so They've been spending part of their summer working on freeing this up, because again, all of this was kind of covered in this scrub. And as you can see, we've never used it that much, but there's a gate right here. And they've been working on either end to get this freed up. Look at all this. Beautiful. Again, back up into the wooded area behind the house. Coming back around to the creek. We have made two separate small bridges out of railroad ties. And both of them cross a creek. Can you see that? Little water snake. Can't really zoom in on them too well, but he's right there. And there's fish in here and little water strider bugs. We actually had a pretty good rain, oh gosh, a week or so ago. And this wood right here kind of washed up a little bit, came from over in the wooded area. And the creek rose up and all the stuff flowed downstream. Leo Lego Toy is 15 now, dreaming of cars and such, but early on we built a little play set here. Some landscaping. Back around to the upper portion. Kind of early on in my vlogging career, did my first shout out video. It was winter. But I was up here by this barn of ours, and there was snow. All this area covered in snow. This used to be a, when we first moved here, this was a fuel shed. There was actually a tank in there for gasoline or diesel or some such. But it was removed and now we just use it for storage. Christmas decorations during the summer, deck chairs and such during the winter. Very useful. So there you go. Very quick look at some of our property. Hope this satisfies everybody's curiosity about what Geek Acres looks like. Little bit of the farmland that borders the house. It's a fun place to live. It's a little bit of work during the summertime because all of the stuff that is not being farmed needs to be kept up. Fence posts and mowing and all kinds of good stuff. But yeah, glad I had a chance to show off a little bit to you guys today, and hope you're having a good week. We'll talk to you later.